I'm Harrison Graham. Let's rip at Chicago Bears Now mailbag here. It's Riverboat Polls saying, if the Bears cut or trade DeAndre Swift, could they sign Kenneth Gainwell? This is an interesting thought because Kenneth Gainwell quietly had a really good season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as he had over 500 yards rushing and almost 500 yards receiving. He had over 1,000 all-purpose yards. Kind of became the lead running back in terms of like snaps for the Steelers. I'd have to actually look at the raw number, but it seemed like he was more productive than Jaylen Warren overall, certainly as a receiving back. That would certainly be interesting. You save $7.5 million if you cut or traded Swift. What would Gainwell cost? I mean, is he probably like a $5 million player? That feels right. Like 2 for 10 for Kenneth Gainwell, 7 guaranteed, maybe. Mononga is your lead rusher, then Gainwell's kind of your change of pace back. Would I risk what you got going for, like, do I feel better about that if you're only saving a few million bucks? I don't know. I think Swift gives you more as a runner for sure. Gainwell might give you a tick more as a receiving back, but if you wanted to just go cheaper at the position, maybe you draft a guy too, bring that guy along. You certainly could go that route. I think the bigger part of this question is like, are you keeping DeAndre Swift or not? And so I'll ask you guys, will DeAndre Swift be on the Bears next season? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I would say it's more likely yes than no. $8.8 million cap hit for a guy who had over 1,300 all-purpose yards. I think that's more than worthwhile. He's not a perfect player, but I think his production this past year meets what he is currently making. So I'd be cool running it back with Swift and Mononga in 2026. All right, Will Edwards, is it possible we draft a top 5 defensive tackle and a top 5 safety with our current first and second round picks without trading? Kayden, McDonald, and A.J. Haulcy or Thieneman maybe? Yeah, it is certainly possible. You almost are guaranteed a top 5 defensive tackle at 25 if you pick one there. You know, you got Peter Woods, Kayden McDonald, Lee Hunter, obviously, who am I missing here? Caleb Banks is in there as well. A couple other guys, at least one or two of those get to 25, I would imagine. And then second round, to your point, Thieneman, it sounds like he's gaining steam. I don't think he gets to 57, but Haulcy could get there. Zakee Wheatley could get there out of Penn State. Like, you're going to have options. And my guy, Cullen Brown, is giving me one of these. Maybe a future Cullen draft crush. Who knows? But, yeah, I think it is possible because safeties – you know, it's not a premium position, so those guys kind of can drift back. So, yeah, you could go DT round 1, safety round 2, and get a top 5 player at each position in this draft. Definitely a possibility. Okay, ER. Kyle Lewis looks like a stud. Is he worth a day 2 pick? You guys are the best. I think 89, he's worthwhile. I think 57 is probably too high because he's a little undersized even for modern-day linebackers. He's listed at 220. Now, can he get up to about 230? I'd be comfortable with him as an every down linebacker at 230. 220 is kind of tough. You know, it's still a physical game, obviously, but really good coverage player, has that safety background, had a great Senior Bowl week. So, yeah, I think he's a player to monitor day 2. He certainly has improved his stock over the past few weeks. All right, shout out to Ethos for sponsoring today's show. Now listen, folks, life insurance is not a fun topic to talk about, but it's important, especially if you're like me and you have a family, you got a child at home, you got a wife. Thinking about their livelihoods made it easier to discuss, and I'm so glad I found Ethos as my life insurance provider. I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happens to me, there's real consequences, like mortgage payments, tuition, everyday bills that don't just disappear. Life can throw you curveballs, and it's best that you stay prepared. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. They have no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can get up to $3 million in coverage, and some policies are as low as $30 per month with Ethos. As of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. Check it out today. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get an instant and free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. Check out Ethos today. Okay, Michael Frazier with the 5. Appreciate it. Tell me why everyone's saying, quote, keep DJ are the ones chanting, sign Hendrickson and make all these other signings. This isn't Madden. Well, okay, look. You could keep DJ and restructure him If you do a max restructure, it saves 16.8. A trade saves 16.5. And you're saying, well, why not just do that? And sure, like I'd be open to that. I'm fine with that. But it's not apples to apples, because if you trade DJ and save that money, you're not kicking money down the road on your cap. Like you're cutting the head off the snake, if you will, right? You're cutting your losses. You eat $12 million this year, save 16.5, but then he's off your books moving forward. If you restructure DJ, depending how big of a restructure you do, again, up to $16.8 million in savings, you're putting that money on future years of his contract. So next year, you're in this same position, except for his cap hit is actually higher than what it would be currently this year, which is $28.5 million, which clearly I don't think he's playing under that cap hit this year. So they will either restructure or trade him, unless he would just take a pay cut, which that would be great if he'd be willing to do that. I don't think he will. So don't let people tell you it's apples to apples for those saying, well, just restructure, it's the same. It's the same for this year, but it's not the same for the long-term health of your roster construction. So I do just want to make that point clear for those just saying restructure it. Well, yeah, you can, and I'm open to that, but it's not the same as trading them. Okay, Ben, why haven't we re-signed Byard yet? I would not worry about this. It's early. The combine's not even here yet. I could see it happening around then when agents and executives and GMs are all in Indianapolis and these conversations start to take place. Free agency it doesn't start. The tampering period's not till March 9th. That is still almost a month away. So I would not be concerned with that. I still think this happens before free agency. I think this probably happens before the end of the month. So be patient. These teams are, they're preparing their offseason plans right now. They're putting together their scouting on free agents and drafts and their own players and figuring out, are we keeping this guy? Are we cutting this guy? There will be movement, but we're just not quite there yet. Okay, speaking of that, though, it'll be here soon. The offseason is going to pick up, and we're going to be here for all of it. Daily videos, live watch parties during the season, live shows during the offseason as well. Much more as well. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and never miss an episode or a live stream. Okay, DC Viper, is TJ Parker a first-round pick for the Bears, or could you see him fall to the second? Would you maybe consider trading up for him if he does fall out of round one? I think if Parker has a solid combine, he's a first-round pick. He had a really good Senior Bowl week. I think he's a high floor, mid to high ceiling guy. Like, right now, he's a physical edge who sets the edge in the run game and wins as a pass rusher with his strength and length. If he can add some secondary pass rush moves, even just one, if that can develop, he could be a really good pro. If he doesn't, he's probably just a solid pro. But I think right now, if he has a good combine, he doesn't have any egregious testing or some off-field issue we don't know about, to me, he's like a guy you take in the 20s. In a draft like this. I think a strong Senior Bowl week kind of reaffirmed, okay, he's a good player, didn't have a great season this year at Clemson, but a lot went wrong for that football team. Okay, William Bomer, should the Bears trade for Jordan Davis? I haven't seen this out there. It's not the worst thought, though. I mean, if the Eagles are going to pay Jalen Carter soon, is Jordan Davis a guy they could just let go? Is he going under his fifth-year option? Let me look this up real quick. I would guess so, because I haven't seen him on any free agent lists. Yes, so fifth-year option, $12.9 million. Is Jordan Davis worth $12.9 million? Really good run stopper. Not going to give you a ton as a pass rusher. Let's see what PFF, how they graded him this year. 72 overall, 72 against the run, 62 pass rush. Did have 5 sacks, actually. Now it's per PFF. They count half sacks as full sacks. So I'm guessing it's probably more like 4 sacks. I'm just scanning the internet here, folks. 4.5. That's actually a pretty good number for him. $12.9 million. Fourth round pick. You take a fourth for Jordan Davis. Maybe you extend him on a relatively reasonable deal. I don't know. I'd love to know what he would get on an extension. Like, I'm not giving him $20 million per year, but could you get him for like 3 for 36, $12 million a year? That's an interesting thought, William. I'm going to think about that one more. Which are you more excited for? More, either way. D for draft, F for free agency, as those are the two big events of the offseason. Let me know. I'm curious. Most years we'd say draft, but maybe this year it's free agency. Okay, Tom, a couple more here. Who do you think is the best defensive tackle in the draft? I don't think there's a clear answer to that. From what I've seen and watched, and I'm curious what Cullen thinks about this, so feel free to chime in here, Cullen, if you want to hop on real quick. I think the highest ceiling guy is Banks. Now, who's the best one right now? I think that's up for debate, but I think if Banks' medical clears, I think he's got the highest ceiling if he's healthy.
I think Banks certainly has the ceiling. I really like Kayden McDonald. I think that if you draft him, probably has one of the higher floors, safer bets. He's got, really athleticism that translates to the NFL, good size. Like, you can't go wrong. If Kayden McDonald's there, I mean, I'm as big of a Lee Hunter guy as there is out there. I think if McDonald's there, you have to take him. So I'd probably, if I was ranking defensive tackles that the Bears could, potentially draft, I'd probably have McDonald 1, Banks because of his upside at 2, Hunter 3, and then you can kind of get into some of the other guys that could be available.
Where do you have Peter Woods? 4 probably?
Probably 4, yeah.
Didn't have a great year this year.
Which, I mean, hey, not to say that he wouldn't be potentially in play. Like, if the Bears go down there and, Dennis Allen's adamant that he thinks Peter Woods could be somebody that could contribute, I wouldn't have a problem with him taking it in round 1, but he'd be probably out of those 4, my 4th.
Combine will be big for him because coming into this year, he was viewed as a top 10 pick, and kind of like what's-his-face, Parker, just didn't have a great year. So, be interesting. Zach Fine, thoughts on Gabe? Is it Jacas?
Or Akis.
Akis. Hakis? Is there an H in there?
No, it's just A. Just Akis.
Akis, okay. From Illinois. I should know this, Illinois guy.
Versatile edge.
Where do you like him? Day 2?
Yeah, probably more as a round 3 guy.
Okay.
I think that there is some room for growth there, but he's more fit as a 3-4 edge, but he's got room to put also size on, so Dennis Allen would have to have a vision for him, I think.
All right.
Not terrible, but I think a really good player, somebody that could easily be taken on day 2.
Okay, there you go. Appreciate all the questions. Shout out to Colin for chiming in there. We will do more of these mailbags throughout the offseason. You can also find me on social media. I'm going to catch up on DMs this weekend. That's my goal, at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me on Facebook too. If you're searching in your web browser, facebook.com/HGramNFL gets you right to my page. You can hit that follow button. If you're in the app on your phone, just search Harrison Graham Chat Sports. I'll pop up. So give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. Bear down.